The creativity involved and difference between pitching and chipping. Episode 874.
This is Golf Smarter.
I'll tell you, and I talked about this on a recent episode, this is a shot that I learned from Tony Manzoni, is that, and I did this recently with my 57 degree. I was just a yard, 4 or 5 feet off the green, and the flag was up front. And, you know, a lot of people will take their putter right there, and I won't, because I just don't know what the ball's going to do rolling through the grass there. So what I do is I take this 57 degree, I grip down, I bend over it, and I'm almost in a putting stance. I'm practically in it because the ball's close to the club head is close to my feet, and I go toe down, heel up on it. So I'm holding I have a lot of forward lean on the shaft, and I hope I'm explaining this properly.
Sure.
And then, so I just take a little putting stroke with that 57 degree toe down, and it just gets it onto the green as quickly as possible. And I chipped in for eagle on a par 5 doing that last week.
But, you know, when you find something that works, you just practice it a little more. And you know, one of the things that I think people don't do is they go to the practice range. First of all, a lot of people don't spend enough time on the practice range, but they go to the practice range and they just hit drivers and they just hit full swings. It's like, that's the place to practice. It's the place to learn how to hit that little shot. You know, it's not wasting a golf ball to hit a chip shot on the practice range and chip it, 10 feet in front of your hitting station. It's not wasting a golf ball. I mean, it's practicing something that's going to pay off for you on the golf course. And, I've never liked the term driving range. I think it's a practice facility. It is, driving range implies I'm going to pull my driver out and I'm going to hit drivers all day. But it's a practice facility, and it's there for you to learn how to maybe hit little draws and learn how to hit cuts and learn how to flight the ball down and up and, and practice your basic swing, and then practice doing little variations off of that. And one of the things that I think is real simple is to, learn what various ball positions. So this ball position with this little chip shot, the ball flies this way, but if I move it back an inch, it flies a little lower, and I move it back 1 inch, another inch, and it flies a little lower and rolls out still. And now I've got 3 shots just by 3 different ball positions. I just got 3 shots with the same swing. And then I can say, what does it do if I take my gap wedge instead of my sand wedge and I do those same 3 things? Wow, I got 3 more shots. And, because I can make this thing do different combinations of carry and roll by varying ball position and using 2 edges instead of 1. But, and that's what, the learning of this game to me has always been fascinating, and learning, how the ball reacts off the golf club in different scenarios and different swings. And, if you set your hands with very little wrist cock versus if you set your hands with more wrist cock. And, that's what makes this game so fascinating. And I really encourage your listeners, spend time really learning about all the different things you can do with a golf club and a golf ball. And it adds a whole dimension of creativity when you're on the golf course. You go, oh, I know how to hit that shot. I was practicing that on the range the other day.
Yeah, it's really amazing when you get up to a shot and you go, oh, I've practiced this. This is good. I'm ready for this one, right? As opposed to, I saw this on TV once. I can do it.
One of my favorite Ben Hogan stories that Mike Wright, the director of golf at Shady Oaks, told me, and they were playing in a little match, after Hogan's professional career, and they're playing in a match in the club. And Hogan, whether he was playing with you for $5 or whether he's playing for U.S. Open, he was playing to win. He said, there are games with friends, but there are no friendly games.
Ouch.
And anyway, but he's in the cart with this guy, Mike tells me, and the guy hit his drive over and kind of under this tree, whatever. And Hogan asked him, so what are you going to do with this? He said, I'm going to try to, hit this down low under the tree and let it roll up on the green. And Hogan said, well, have you practiced that shot? And he goes, no. And he said, well, then pick the damn thing up. His deal was, you never hit a shot on the golf course you haven't practiced.
Absolutely.
You should never try that. But all of us do that because we don't go on the range and practice that low shot from under the trees and that kind of thing. We don't practice those, but
I do.
But the point is,
I definitely do.
Practice the shots that you're going to have on the golf course.
Yeah.
I mean, people, it's like I play with people who just tremble when they walk into a bunker. It's like, well, have you ever gone over to the practice bunker on the range and just go throw 30 balls in there and you'll figure it out pretty quickly what works out of the bunker. Then the next time you walk in a bunker, you have something to believe in. You're not just fear and trepidation, Yeah. So it's very hard to execute a good golf swing when you're paralyzed with fear.
No question about it. No question about it. We're going to take a timeout. We'll be back right after this. I want to talk about Edison wedges again for a moment. The care, the what we need to do for groove care, for caring for your wedges. What do you recommend? Because right now I know on this one I've got a nice big gash right in the middle of my club right here. I don't know why it's there, but it is.
You could have caught a pebble in a bunker or whatever. The Edison wedges are forged out of a 1025 carbon steel. This is a soft steel. I'm a 100% believer that a forged golf club gives you more feel and more consistent feel of the golf ball. This is a durable chrome that we developed with our foundry. It's twice as thick as anybody else's chrome. You're not going to, if you don't compromise the chrome, you're not going to inject the idea of rust in the golf club. As far as grooves go, I think the number one thing when you're talking about sandy ranges is, keep the golf balls clean when you're practicing and keep your club face clean. I mean, sandblasting is exactly that. If there's sand on the face of the golf club, there's sand on the golf ball. Sand is harder than that steel. So it's going to eat away at that. Keep your grooves clean. One of the things that's very interesting, and you watch the guys on tour, and they're around the green and they take a number of practice swings on that little delicate shot. They want to get the real feel for the shot they want to hit. And then they'll take the club and like point it over at their caddy so he can wipe that club face down. So those grooves are super clean so that he can channel away moisture and grass and have the cleanest groove possible, the cleanest face possible on that shot. But it's also interesting if you're watching them occasionally, they won't do that because they want that groove filled a little bit because they want that ball to release a little bit more. And so if that groove is filled with dirt and grass, that ball is going to release a little bit more. So, and you can do that. I mean, you can see the difference of that little chip shot or pitch shot you have. If you want it to release, take a few practice swings, and then don't clean the face. That ball's going to release a little more than if you wipe that face down after those practice shots. You want a good spinning shot. You want a good clean face on the ball.
Oh, that's such a great tip because I'm pretty obsessive about brushing my clubs, all of my clubs, even after practice. I got a little mud in the grooves. I got to clean it off. It's like, come on, Fred. It's like, no,
so here's a good question though. How often do you clean your grips? How often do you wash your grips on your golf clubs?
Wash the grips or change the grips?
No, wash them.
Never. What?
Have you ever noticed you wear a white golf glove when you play?
Yeah.
You ever notice how that glove gets all dirty? Where do you think that dirt's coming from? It's coming from your hands, but your hands are coming from the grips. And I'm a big believer of the soft bristle brush and soapy water and wash your grips at least every 3 or 4 or 5 rounds. Because you get hand grime and because it makes them tackier and easier to hold on to. And it makes them last longer.
Never occurred to me.
Yeah. Grips get dirty. That's how your golf glove gets dirty.
Yeah. Well, I replace the grips every year, but it's not because of dirt. It's because, I've worn out a spot with my hand.
Well, then you need to work on your grip. So that club shouldn't be moving in your hand. But wash your grips, every at least once a month, every 4 or 5 rounds, wash your grips. If you get your kitchen sink full of warm water, a little soap, you'd be amazed at how dirty that water gets just by washing your 12, 13 grips.
Never even occurred to me.
And it gets the dirt off of them, yeah.
I love that.
But golf, I grew up in the persimmon era And we took Johnson wax and we waxed our persimmon woods, and you never put them away wet into that head cover. I mean, back in those days, your clubs took a lot more care than they are now. But and those old rubber grips, they got hard and worn out in a season. But I see golfers a lot of times, they've got grips that are hard, they're worn out, and it makes the golfer just gripping it like with a death grip.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so and I think grip pressure, and I was talking with this young man yesterday. I said, you've never seen a good player with a bad grip. I mean, your hold on the golf club sets up everything. And anybody can learn how to properly hold a golf club, whether you like an interlock grip, or I'm an overlap guy. I personally don't like interlock grips, but the club needs to be in the fingers. And I'm surprised at how many people are ordering mid-size and oversized grips. And our hands haven't changed in size, and big grips reduce your hand action. People are fighting the slice. They put a big grip on the golf club, which promotes the slice. And it's pretty crazy. But
it does.
But we get to see it all. Building golf clubs for people every day, custom order golf clubs. You get to see all kind of requests. Yeah, it's pretty interesting.